Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Or so said Albert Einstein. Come 2020, and I think we can determine the guy would not be a fan of roguelikes. It's fascinating to think a genre that throws you in a random place and consistently kicks your ass would captivate the minds and hearts of so many. But such is life. One would think that starting all over from scratch would detract players from playing these titles often. But if you're watching this video, you know there's nothing further from the truth. Hello folks, this is a Spaniard on the moon once again. Although these days, I've traded my hut on the dark side of the moon, where cold is nothing but the norm, for the toasty feeling of ferrying the souls of the dead across the Styx of my friend Charon's boat. Oh, and by the way, this is a stop where we're picking up your soul. So come on friend, get on this punt and navigate to the darkest depths of the Underworld with us. If you're still wondering why you're on this boat with us, well, there's not really much I can tell you. You could try to get out of here. There's this brat who keeps trying and trying, but every single time comes back through this damned river. Always coming back to Hades. Hopefully, by the end of this review, you have figured out a way out of here. And if that's not the case, you can rest assured that you can take my place helping Charon, because there's no way in hell I'm staying here forever. Pun intended. Should our journey through Hades' Underworld captivate you and become of your liking, consider hitting the like button to support this expedition. If you would like to join me on my next adventure out of the moon, then think about subscribing to know when we're ready to set sail. Hades has been carefully and meticulously crafted by the Supergiant Games team. You can currently purchase it from the Well of Charon for 1,000 gold coins. Wait. Sorry, I have clearly been here for way too long. But you can definitely catch a trip down the Styx for $24.99 on both the PC and Switch. When you ask people to list out the 5 senses, they normally start with vision. So following that tradition, we'll discuss graphics first. Upon opening our eyes for the first time in the Underworld, we will discover something quite unexpected. This damn place is a lot more colorful and better looking than the movies mention. The art style presented to us differs from any conventional wisdom regarding what the Underworld should look like. Every element is presented in such a surprisingly vibrant manner, making this place seem a bit less uninviting. From the Underworld's hall filled with the souls of the dead brought here by Charon with the help of yours truly, to Zagreus' bedroom representing what my room looked like at 16. Let's not actually kid ourselves, it looks like that right now. From the kitchen, with its chef preparing Zeus knows what for dinner, to the armory with our dear friend Skelly waiting to get beat up to a pulp. Each of the rooms in this introductory location display their own character and the character of those who inhabit them. Venture further down into each of the 4 distinct areas of the Underworld, and you will find the same unique character that each of them display. The chambers of Tartarus start portraying that darkness that is commonly known of this place. This area holds the closest resemblance to what one of our earthly dungeons actually looks like. Get past the first section of the Underworld and you will be greeted by magma waiting to turn you into whatever magma turns people in Asphodel. Each chamber is mostly made up of islands surrounded by magma, making them extremely bright at times. And please, let me remind you, warning sign, do not step on the magma, because, it'll kill you. It may be a little bit more slowly than you thought, but it will. Move past the challenges in Asphodel, and you will be treated to a wonderful sight in Elysium. From the dark and dangerous looks of Tartarus and Asphodel, we transition into a beautiful valley, with softer light and plenty of vegetation. Hades' chefs must be getting their hot peppers from here. It's hard to imagine that we're still in the Underworld, but do not let this wonderful sight fool you for a single moment. Foes are waiting for you in each chamber, and they're ready to kick your ass. Should you prevail thanks to your tenacity and the help of the gods, you will make it to the Temple of Styx. Remember those beautiful sights in Elysium? Well, time to forget about them, because we're not only going back to the darkness, but we're also going to be working with extremely confined spaces, testing all that you have learned thus far. Here, a friend is awaiting you to trade something that you hold dear for something he holds dear. But we'll leave it at that for now. Some things are definitely better left to imagination. Regardless of which of the areas of the Underworld you may find yourself in, you'll be able to notice the outstanding level of detail in each of them. It's this level of detail combined with the game's art style what turns this experience of traversing hell into eye candy. The inhabitants of the Underworld also display a carefully crafted level of detail and personality, especially in their depictions during dialogues, in which their character model will change still to reflect the emotions of any given conversation with our voice actors. We all know that the best looking one is always the puppy, no exceptions. And the puppy wins it all this time too, or should I say puppies, since we're talking about Cerberus. The red three-headed guardian of the Underworld is certainly a good boy, and he sure looks like one. The Underworld not only has a lot to look at, but it also has a lot to listen to, so let's check out the sounds of the Underworld.
And here they come. You are next. Left yourself open.
You would think the Underworld is a quiet place, right? Well, that's not the case in Hades. Not only can you constantly hear the ear-piercing cries of the souls brought here by Charon, but also a whole lot of diabolical ambient sounds, music, and excellent voice acting. The ambient sounds in Hades are fitting for the kind of environment that we find ourselves trapped in. Now, if you're looking for astonishing depth on every step and every encounter in terms of ambient sounds, then I would recommend that you reconsider your expectations. The ambient sounds are pretty standard throughout all the sections of the game. An area where we can definitely notice this is the weapon sounds. There is little to no variance with the different types of weapons available. The most notable difference is probably the switch between melee and range. The truth is, although each of the individual sounds in the Underworld may not be the most outstanding in terms of depth and quality, it is their combination and the chaos they create what makes them so special. The chaotic combination of your attacks, dashes, and special abilities is one of the things that makes this action-packed trip through the Underworld so special. Speaking of special, the music and soundtrack of Hades' Underworld is definitely fitting for all the dangers we're about to encounter. Each section has its own distinct set of musical pieces that can make this journey back to the surface an intense one. The music as you fight the Hydra and all its damn heads makes it even more epic of a fight. There is a specific chamber with an NPC singing that is amazing. It brings a soothing and calming feeling after the slaughterhouse that is Asphodel. I won't be showing it here because I think you should experience it for yourself the first time. But needless to say, I really love the music and I think you can tell by now. If the music and ambient sounds are great, then I cannot wait till you get to experience the voice acting in Hades. Listen. For a title with the scope of Hades, my expectations were not necessarily high to begin with. But it only takes a few minutes in conversations to realize that Supergiant put in the work here. It seriously knocks it out of the park. Especially even more when you realize multiple characters are being handled by the same person. Like Darren Korb, voicing the one and only Zagreus and his good friend and assistant Skelly. Which also got me thinking, you know all those times when Zagreus and Skelly talk to each other? This dude was actually just talking to himself the whole time. All the voice work is certainly top notch in this game, and there is not enough time in this video to cover all of the cast, but let me leave you with a few.
Stupid boy. I told you nobody gets out of here, whether alive or dead. So how was your wanton ransacking of my domain?
Greetings, Father. My ransacking was a delight, thank you for asking. So I'll just be on my way again.
Be on your way indeed. What do I care? You shall never reach the surface. Go, see for yourself.
We all know what you came here for, right? The meat and the sandwich of every game, which is gameplay. So let's talk about it. This is what you came here for, isn't it? Well, I can tell you that the wait is over. The game puts us in the skin of Zagreus, the irreverent and immortal son of the god who runs this whole damn underworld, Hades. It is clear from the get-go that Zagreus and his dad don't necessarily get along. We start our story with our friend Zagreus starting his mission to try to escape the underworld, against his father's wishes of course. Because, you know, no one escapes the underworld. That would be a really bad look for Hades. Zagreus of course has no regard for his father's reputation, so he sets off on his journey to make it to the surface. Here's where the roguelike begins. You already knew he was not going to make it to the surface on his first try. Otherwise, where would the fun be, right? The game takes us through multiple underworld chambers in search for an exit. Each chamber contains a unique encounter with a combination of enemies ready to kick your ass. And let me tell you, they will kick your ass. If it's not one of the enemies or traps in the chambers, then it's going to be one of the bosses at the end of every section. So, you're going to see the screen a whole lot during your journey. You're not alone in this journey though. As the son of Hades, it also turns out that you got family up in Olympus who are longing to meet you and are willing to help you through the use of boons. These are gifts by the gods of Olympus that give you special abilities and stats, and can also modify your attacks. Each god of Olympus offers their own and distinct boons. These can vary in rarity from common to heroic, and a few special boons can rank up to legendary. Boons are completely random on each run, forcing you to adapt your playstyle to the abilities at hand. One of the good things about getting your ass kicked consistently in this game is that you'll get to try a lot of boon combinations, until you find the one that gets you out of here. Do not despair though. Hades wouldn't be a roguelike if every time that you failed, you didn't get better. The game does know how to approach progression in a way that feels truly rewarding during each run. This is exemplified in a few different ways. First, we have the talents that can be upgraded by spending darkness and unlocked by spending chthonic keys obtained in each run. These talents are permanent, meaning that they will stick with you from the point you unlock them. Talents also have two forms that they can adopt, allowing you to mix and match the different combinations to your liking. Then we have keepsakes, which are given to Zagreus by different characters as he bonds with them throughout the story. Let's just say there is this nectar out there that everyone in the Underworld really loves. Give them some, and they'll reward you with a keepsake. You can select these before starting your escape attempt, and they do provide certain benefits, such as more health, damage, and things like that. Keepsakes also level up as you complete more chambers with them. And you'll have the chance to swap these once at the end of one of the sections of the Underworld. There are also companions to be unlocked. However, you'll get to discover these yourself as you continue your journey. Finally, we have the Infernal Arms, the assortment of weapons available to Zagreus during his journey to the surface. Each of these weapons have their own unique playstyle, going from keeping at a distance to close quarters combat. Every weapon has its own moveset, and depending on what weapon you're wielding, certain boons will interact differently with your attacks or abilities. Weapons also have different aspects that can be unlocked at a certain point in the game and then can be upgraded using the Titan's blood. Nasty, I know, but I didn't come up with the rules. At some point during your journey, you will be able to unlock something called the Packs of Punishment. Now, if you thought that escaping the Underworld was not hard enough in and of itself, then you might as well sign one of these. Want to give yourself a time limit to complete each section of the Underworld? Want more enemies to spawn? Want your health reduced or to give bosses cool new tricks? Then go for it. But remember what I said about insanity at the beginning of this video. Once you have upgraded your talents and picked your weapon and keepsake, it's time to try to escape one more time, devising your strategy and choosing the best combination of boons available. Inevitably, you are going to fail, until you don't. In the meantime, when you get killed, you will return to the main hall of the House of Hades, where you'll meet up a lot of important people, especially the contractor. You see, even the House of Hades needs renovations from time to time, and the contractor is your best friend to get this project done and make Zeus jealous of what Hades got going on down here. The contractor can not only help you improve the look of the house, but he can also help you unlock gameplay features and help you gain currency a lot easier. That's a lot of help. The contractor is mostly going to charge you in gemstones, but if you're getting fancy with the kind of things you're asking for, you may have to drop a diamond or 2, or 5, it all depends. Now enough of my rambling about this place and how you're never going to get out of here. Let me give you my final thoughts. Does Hades have the capacity to make me want to pull my hair out if I had any left? Well, the answer for that is sure. However, the game also knows how to reward the player for trying and how to make progression feel real. The game is going to beat you one too many times, but should you persevere, you'll get to that feeling of accomplishment once you reach the surface for the first time. Or will you? If it's not clear by now, then let me tell you that I love this game. Certainly, it is one of the most enjoyable titles I've gotten my hands on this year. And looking at what we got so far, that is absolutely saying something. So far, I've spent over 30 hours on it, and I can see myself going strong for another 30. Anyways guys, that is going to be everything from me today. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. Also, remember to take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I know this year has been rough, and that over the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot of things happening. Remember to be kind to one another. Whatever we need to get through, we'll get through it together. Take care, folks. I'll see you next time.